Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. I told you guys, I got a good one for you. Today is the Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather special. I got my gang with me, man. This is from Uneducated Network, so if you haven't, please subscribe, like, subscribe, comment, and share to Uneducated Network. I guarantee you guys we're having a blast and you're going to love it. Be the first one to do it. What are you doing right now? Subscribe right now. But I'm done with Uneducated Network. Let's talk Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton, and I got my friends with me, man. So let's start off with my man, Joe Slick Baglio. Showing for me, dog. 10 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. What is it, baby? I got my man, Greg Stevens, right here.
I can't fight, but I can talk.
There we go. Hey, he is a big boxing fan. I knew that all my life. Messed with him, so I know that he's a big boxing fan. So he got knowledge. Drop it down, my man. Y'all know him already. From Uneducated Star Wars Talk. This is Chris Lambert. What it do? And of course, everybody know in the paint with Red, Devonte Rone, aka Red, doing this thing. What do, Red? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready for this? And I got my man Jordan Turner, who's a big MMA fan. All those times we done spent at Buffalo Wild Wings. You know what I'm saying? All the love we done made with the wings. At Buffalo Wild Wings, watching them fights. What it do, Jordan? You all right?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, let's get on to it, man. So, if you haven't been on Earth, then you realize that there is a Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight going on. So, that being said, it's probably the most monumental fight of our generation. Not once we've ever seen the best boxer pound for pound versus basically pound for pound the best MMA fighter that might go to John Jones. But Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. And first question on the docket, y'all. Before we talk, do what y'all do. Don't let me interrupt y'all until the end. So say what you got to say. Here we go, man. So I want to know from everybody, what does this fight, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, what does this fight do for boxing? What does it mean for mixed martial arts as well? So I'm going to go ahead. My man Chris Lambert, man.
What do you mean the boxing to me? Boxing been kind of, no offense to the boxer, but he been kind of dead to me for a while. So I think it puts it back on the map. And obviously, if Conor wins, I don't know what it's really gonna do for boxing then, because a lot of people gonna look at boxing like, oh, y'all let this new guy who never boxed before, maybe on the amateur level, I believe. I have to look at my notes, but gonna let an amateur come in and beat the top boxer who's 49-0. That'd be kind of a bad look for boxing. So I don't really want to see that, but I'm kind of rooting for McGregor to win, because I don't like he don't have a chance narrative going around. Right. And I think in any fight, anybody has a puncher's chance at least. Excuse me. That's really what it means for me.
Well, Greg. All right, Greg. It's boxing. We know it's in a dead period now. This isn't the late 80s, early 90s, even in the mid 90s now. But
if it's a spirited fight,
right,
there's a lot of back and forth. If it's a good fight, then it's good for boxing and it's good for MMA. Right. If it's one-sided and Mayweather beats him down, McGregor's got the built-in excuse that it's not his sport. It's his first time in the fray. That's what I think.
All right, I heard that. Mr. Red, what you think? For an MMA guy to come in, like, what does it do for MMA? What does it do for boxing, man?
I think for boxing, it does more of a good thing because, like I said, it's been going dead for a little while. So, and obviously, with Floyd Mayweather being retired, I mean, boxing has been really down. So we ain't really seeing really good fights. But now this fight that he is fighting in is great. I think it's great. It's going to be fun. Punching people is all good. Boxing is always good.
Right. Mr. Joe Slick Baglio, the boxing expert right here, man. I want to know how you feel about what does this sport? What does it do for the sport of boxing and MMA, of course?
Okay. I don't really know what it'll do for MMA. That's not really my expertise.
Right.
I do actually watch MMA. I typically only like to watch fighters like Conor that stand up more often. So, but what it does for me. I'd say that, and I disagree with what they said as boxing being dead, because they've been calling boxing being dead since the 90s. What you've seen is a decline in your typical viewers only because of technology. Lots of people can watch these things later, as where back in the day, it was all about a social and magnitude event. It was like right then and there, everyone's got to watch this. So you watch Muhammad Ali back in the day, it's like, it's a huge spectacle. Everyone's got to watch it. So.
Hagler Hearns?
Yeah, so I think that mainly what you're seeing is that your typical decline. I mean, just look at Super Bowl. Super Bowl, everybody loves Super Bowl, but there's still a lot of people that's like, I ain't worried about the Super Bowl.
Right.
So it just depends on what people are feeling at the time. But for me, I think that it's huge for boxing just because, and you can't compare the two sports. Like, no matter what happens in this fight, you can't say, oh, boxers are better, oh, MMA is better, as much as you want to, because they literally are different worlds.
Right.
One focuses on talent with movement and hands, and the other focuses on full combat with multiple weapons and multiple styles of arts of fighting that go back way centuries ago. So for me, though, I'd say that boxing needed this, and not that boxing's dying, but they needed this to kind of give it that push back into the spotlight. And what that's doing is bringing a lot of people saying, oh, I mean, you know, look, I mean, even Conor went and put on some boxing gloves, you know what I mean? A lot of guys, as soon as MMA or UFC started blowing up, they was like, wash their hands with boxing. They were like, oh, I'm going to only watch UFC, you know? So they may see something. A lot of guys ain't watched boxing matches in a long time. They may see something, and it draws them in and want to watch some boxing. So for me, I don't disagree with the fight. I do disagree with the fact that Mayweather's going to be able to be 50-0.
Right.
I do not believe that it should have been a Vegas sanctioned match, because you have a guy that has, as he said, he has 0 professional boxing history. There's no merit for him to be in the ring. I mean, they're different worlds. So other than the money, there's really no reason to make this fight.
So you give Mayweather no credit for the victory?
I mean, I will. He'll have to work a little bit, but I mean, I don't want to get into the actual scene of the fight till later.
Right.
You know, I think we're gonna casually escalate to whys and why nots.
Well, the fallout of boxing, is it because of marketing? Like I like the fact you said social media is in it now, but are guys just not marketing themselves better now?
That can be.
We had the guys of Muhammad Ali's stature, even Mike Tyson with the lips. Yeah, I think that kind of stuff. Yeah, he had that. Of course, he showed it by knocking fools out in 20 seconds.
Right.
But is it marketing? Because he always had Don King behind him.
Right.
That was the greatest man ever. That kind of stuff. Is it because guys just aren't marketing themselves in boxing anymore?
Okay.
And for the fact I know that MMA is the new thing out there now.
It's trending.
Yeah, it's trending. Yeah, and everybody wants to do that, but. Technically, I think it's only because marketing is just people aren't marketing themselves in boxing anymore. What do you think?
When you say
I think UFC has more charismatic people. You have Conor McGregor, you have John Jones, even Daniel Cormier. You know, whenever John Jones and Daniel Cormier was together, it was straight fireworks the whole time. You know, when you got Triple G, who can barely speak English and stuff, so you can't really market the best.
Right,
and then you got Canelo Alvarez, who also needs a translator because he speaks Spanish, and so he can't really market himself to the American people the way that he should. Because mostly, I mean, I guess I won't categorize as only Americans really buy more, but I know it's a global thing.
Right.
But it's I think that's where it lacks there, because I don't really know too many people in the UFC who don't market themselves great. I think Anderson Silva only speak Brazilian or Portuguese. And
look at Nate Diaz. He doesn't know how to market himself, but I love him.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then even with Anderson Silva and when he was fighting, his fighting style marketed himself. If you ever seen Anderson Silva fight, it is amazing. Yeah. So he marketed himself with his fighting. With boxing, you have to really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
To really market yourself in it. So I mean, I guess that's where you kind of lose out on with boxing. The marketing aspect.
Right, Chris?
And touching on the marketing, I think the sport overall lost a lot of the marketing, because you see the big push now. Football has become America's sport. You see Pepsis and stuff with football on them. It's not the boxers or the boxing gloves. I think the sport in general lost a lot of marketing, along with the individuals, like y'all say.
And that follows what I was saying as far as trending. What you're seeing is fast-paced physical sports are trending. So people don't. Back in the day, MLB was. Baseball was a sport.
Yeah.
I mean, but don't nobody really want to sit around and wait to watch this guy throw this pitch 16, 17, 18 times. People want to see plays.
Yeah,
and when they're not watching a play, they can look at their phone.
Right.
And then they look back. With baseball, you got to really actually focus on what's going on.
Yeah.
So and the same thing with UFC. You can see rounds in boxing where guys really don't do anything to kind of change the course of the fight.
All right.
You see the same thing in round 2 that you'll see in 8, and it's like this guy's consistently doing the same thing, but it's winning. So I think it may be the monotonous of it, maybe. So maybe most people, they like UFC, fast fights, unpredictable, bloody. That's what they want.
Perfect. Yeah. But besides Canelo's little beer commercial, I don't see anybody else in boxing doing him and Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Putting meat on the grill.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
Meat boulder. They probably had like 8 cuts. 8 cut. No, beef boulder.
Yeah.
Boulder. No, but no, I see what you mean with the marketing though. Yeah. Now, all right. I said it before, this is a once-in-a-generation kind of fight. Greatest MMA player will fight against the greatest boxing guy, pound for pound. We never seen that, like, pretty much ever, because boxing is, MMA is still kind of brand new. I want to know from you guys, personally, this fight, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, what does it personally mean for you? I'll start with you, Greg.
I want to see a lot of good back and forth. Styles make fights. If you look at Ali against Frazier, right? Ali had a tough time with Frazier. Ali knocked the hell out of Foreman, knocked him out.
Right.
Cold. Foreman knocked the hell out of Frazier. You just never know what's going to come of these fights. And then watching Mayweather's fights previously, the only time that fighters ever really gave Mayweather trouble, if you think back to when he fought Miguel Cotto. Cotto gave him some problems, especially in the middle rounds. Jose Luis Castillo gave him a hell of a fight, in which some would argue that maybe he didn't deserve that decision. Those are 2 fighters that fight in a pressure style, an intelligent pressure. Right? They had to him. McGregor, if he comes in there winging his punches, he's going to have to fight intelligently. But how do you fight intelligently against maybe the smartest defensive fighter of all time?
Right.
It's hard to see a scenario in which McGregor can put up a worthy fight that we'll remember for some time to come. McGregor's got the advantages in strength and size, but Mayweather always seems to figure out people. And if you think back to when he fought Shane Mosley knocked him nearly down in the second round.
Right. I remember
Hit him harder and cleaner than I've ever seen him hit. Mayweather recovered right after that almost flash knockdown there, and he dominated the rest of the fight. He adapted in the ring. So I'm sure he'll adapt to whatever McGregor brings forward.
Personally, Chris, go ahead. I'm sorry. Personally, Chris, how you feel for this fight? For you personally?
Like I said, I don't like the narrative of the guy don't have no chance. So I always like going for the underdog. So I kind of want to see McGregor win. But on a more personal level, and this might lead into a conversation for another day, I hate to see the black-white thing being pulled. Like,
I agree.
As a black man, I hate to see my fellow black people make everything black and white. Like, because I think McGregor has a chance to win, I'm not black, or I want the white man. Sorry, guys.
Way to go
against
the grain.
I want the white man to stay on top and then come dominate in the black man sport. That, you know what I mean? So I don't like that narrative either. So personally, I want to put an end to that, because it's not about black and white.
Right.
It's a fight. It's about entertainment. Like Jay-Z said, it's only entertainment.
When they were doing the promo, and McGregor said, "Hey boy."
Yeah,
did that bother you guys?
No, because
I know he's from
I'll tell you,
He talks crazy to everybody.
It's Conor, so yeah.
I'll tell you exactly, because even though the Irish are notoriously known for being racist, that wasn't meant in a racist form.
No pun included.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, it wasn't meant that way. Because
the media made an issue out of it, so some people were pissed off.
I brushed it off. Didn't even care for it, because it wasn't. He wasn't trying to do that, because it's just the way. Sometimes you just talk a certain way.
Right. And I think he talks that way
to everybody.
Because when he said the boy thing, I think it's because he really feels like Mayweather is a boy to him.
Yeah.
Like, intellectually, he feels like, I'm a better businessman than you at this age.
Yeah.
I am smarter with my money than you were at this age.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah.
Because I remember in their tour, he pointed out that Mayweather's wearing a jumpsuit.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of boxers back, when I was growing up in amateur boxing, that was the thing, as you wore jumpsuits, you wore that. So nowadays you're seeing guys, more in suits, because that went away for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But touching back on the boy thing, that's just general smack talk. Because even guys around the kitchen, boy, you's a little boy. Like, people say that.
Boy, you's a little boy.
People say that.
Yo, Ray, personally, how do you feel about this, man? What was personally for you?
I mean, I feel like with the boy thing, I mean, I'm one of the best fighters that ever fought, in the ring. So why you calling me a boy? You know what I'm saying? I'm undefeated, you know what I'm saying? And you don't even, you're not even a boxer, so why are you sitting there calling me boy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're an MMA fighter.
Yeah, it's
That's how I
funny.
feel about it.
McGregor gives him such a hard time, and he talks so much smack to him. If McGregor gets schooled in the ring, he's going to look like a fool.
Right.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess for
exactly.
$100 million, you can afford to do that.
I think
More
with
like 50.
I think with McGregor's, like Jordan pointed out, his Irish background.
Yeah.
If it's anybody else, if it's this plain American guy
Yeah.
that comes in and says boy, then we got an issue, kind of maybe. But this is Irish guy who's notorious. That's plenty.
And he kind of
If you make an
walked back
exception
after
for
he
one, you
said
got to
it.
make an
No,
exception for all.
but it's some that you just kind of feel like it's just natural in a good way,
Yeah.
not natural in a bad way.
Right.
So that's all. I'm I'm just saying natural in a
I know
good
what you're
way.
talking about.
Yeah. So he's saying boy, but
Hey, boy, pick up that shovel.
yeah. No,
We got a problem
but I'm
now.
saying, his Irish background, it's kind of like it's comedic a little bit. It's comedic.
yeah.
Well, if you watch the interview, I just watched it at my bachelor party in Vegas this past weekend. I watched that.
You had to throw that in there.
Yeah, it's 30 now. Stays in
So,
Vegas. Happens Vegas, stays in Vegas.
So when I watched the video, I noticed that he pointed out that he said he's never looked at any African American in a derogatory way. Like he said, so for him to say that, he said, if I was to call him any animal, it'd be a weasel or a rat. Is because he said that was extremely shady for him to try to turn it into a racial thing.
Right.
He was like, let's keep it at a fight level and be professional and promote the fight the way we've been doing.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can see he didn't have any negative intent with
Yeah.
the way,
He also threw in the fact that he abused his wife, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He did. He
Yep.
did. So,
All that, man.
I think personally, I really hate that Mayweather chose this as his 50th fight. I don't know if y'all can fact check me on this. Is it Rocky Marciano
Yep.
who has
He did.
50-0?
49-0.
He's 49-0.
That's
Okay.
why he retired.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stopped at the
Well,
49 mark.
Horrible.
It
If
is.
you're gonna choose somebody to do 50-0, you have to choose a boxer
Someone in your world.
to do 50-0 because now I mean maybe that might be a topic for another time, but I mean I just think
Yeah.
50-0 thing. I mean,
Yeah, I
that should-
agree,
that should be his
100%.
50-50.
Well, let's get to it because you kind of brought it on to my next topic, man,
Yeah.
Jordan. I was saying we got this guy from MMA, Conor McGregor, who isn't really even the pound for pound best fighter in his own sport.
Near
But-
the weight, though.
Yeah,
Near Mayweather's
yeah,
weight.
Yeah, but he's near Mayweather's weight, exactly. My thing is, what makes, outside the money, because we all know Floyd, money Mayweather is about his money. Outside of the money, why you think did he choose Conor McGregor? Like, why? I'll start with you, Greg. What's up?
Easy pickings.
Easy pickings? Ooh. Are you trying to say, are you saying that it's easy to get 50 win, the 50
But he
win?
decided to go, like you guys informed me of moments ago, they changed from the 10-ounce gloves to the 8-ounce gloves. There's no way Floyd would allow that to happen if he wasn't supremely confident that he will take this guy apart.
Yeah, I mean, there's much lesser talented guys that you can't really, or how should I say that? There's guys that have been much more talented than Conor would ever be with his hands that struggled tremendously against Floyd. I mean, even an aging Floyd.
Right.
So, I mean,
And that's probably Conor's best chance, maybe hoping that at the age of 40, Floyd is somehow dramatically
I'm
slow.
gonna be honest. I believe
Reflexes are
his best chance is to just go ahead and lay down and get your paycheck.
Who got his hands?
But that wouldn't go over well with you and
Did I say
Conor.
Mayweather?
No, I didn't. You
Oh, okay.
specified him.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it how it is. I mean, you have a guy with fairly good hands in MMA. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about Conor is that he's rangy, sneaky. He has some technique to him, you know.
But these MMA guys that he's standing up and striking with, they in no way are comparable to a professional boxer.
No. There's
Correct?
so many errors that are made in the split moments.
Right.
And that's why you see so many unpredictable knockouts in UFC.
Gotcha.
And you don't see unpredictable knockouts as much in boxing. You know, and that's not due to the glove. Trust me, those gloves are not what you think they are. They may look fluffy on TV, but people look fluffy on TV too. I mean, so I'm telling you right now, a lot of the weight in those gloves is back here, not right here. I've fought a guy. It don't take but about 2 or 3 minutes, and you can push that pattern however you want, and you can. If you do it right, it's called a roll. And what they'll do is they get the glove right after they get it. They freaking roll it up as tight as they can, and then they take the laces and tie it up, and they let it sit like that. And that by the time that you put that glove on, that thing, the front of that glove just bends however you want it. So
Is
that's why
that
you'll
legal?
see it's
Aren't the
fully
gloves-
legal.
aren't the
It's
gloves
fully
checked?
legal, but what they'll do, a lot of commissions, they like to tell you, hey, I don't want, like the commissioner will come in and say, I don't want you rolling the gloves, like make it a point.
Right.
So, if you see Pacquiao a lot of times when he's fighting, he does that right there.
Mhm.
That's getting that padding where you want it. He knows where that padding is. So
Gotcha,
and you see a lot of fighters the hard hitters. You don't ever see Floyd doing that. Floyd's not worried about hitting you hard. Floyd's worried about his defense.
Well, Jordan, why Conor? Outside the money, we all know it's all about the money, but why you think you picked Conor? Is it because it's easy pickings, or you think it's something more than that?
That too, but the fans asked for it, and Dana White's pushes very hard on making sure the fans get exactly what they want.
Right.
And so that's why Dana White pursued it so hard. It was because he knew exactly that they would make, and not to bring it back, but money.
Mm-hmm.
But, he asked for it super, super hard.
Right.
Fans did.
The
so
word money.
They asked for it.
You can't avoid the money.
No, you can't avoid it because that's all this is about. It's just the money.
Mhm.
So, and plus the fans asked for it, so you got to give it to them. So, but for Floyd, it's a horrible.
Which brings us back. Didn't you? You're the one that brought up the 50-0.
Yeah.
So, if I'm Floyd, why do I want my 50-0 to be against an MMA guy?
Yes,
Well, he's always fought easier pickings this whole career. I mean, he
Mhm.
never fought these guys in their prime.
Yeah, and also,
same old as hell.
and also, I would
Old as
like to say, fans. I would like to say fans, but I know that's not Floyd's MO.
But he could have done it as a grudge match. It could have been largely televised and an unsanctioned grudge match. Now, they could have had the Vegas Commission be there for the event as far as the undercard goes, with all these guys that are lining up to get on this major viewing.
Yeah.
And then now the main event would have been an unsanctioned match. It's not for a title. Not a
Right,
title on the line.
Yeah. Just like an exhibition.
Well,
Pretty much.
Chris, why do you think they got Conor? Why is Conor the guy for Floyd's 50th fight?
To echo what he said, I think it was the fans, money grab. Why not? It's money. Why not?
Yeah.
And I don't know if Floyd was thinking about the fans, but Dana White for sure was thinking about the fans. And I'm just thinking about my point of him having a chance. Let's take LeBron. We all agree he's the best player in his sport.
Yeah.
We also agree he probably can play in other sports as well, right?
Right.
Might not dominate
Right.
in specialities in those sports, but he can still have a chance to maybe
Be okay.
be okay
Yeah.
and stand a punch of chance at beating.
He could be a starting tight end.
Yeah, he could be a starting tight end. Or
That's so freaking like a gazelle,
or the designated
Jimmy
hitter,
Graham, who?
or designated hitter in baseball,
Yeah.
or whatever he wanted to do.
Right,
and
right.
the same chance I would give LeBron in any other sport, I'll give Conor that chance in the boxing match.
All right,
Okay.
I got you.
That's good.
Well, Red, why Conor? Why you think all these guys out there? Why you think he chose Conor? Because basically it was for Floyd. It was Floyd's choosing. Conor is in the MMA world saying what he wants to say because Conor wants the money. Conor's like, he's about to quadruple himself in one fight. He's his whole entire career.
Yes.
And to be honest, 6-7 months ago, this is all make believe. This is fairy tale.
Yeah,
You
right.
couldn't tell me 7-8 months ago this is not about to happen.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
Right.
This is not about to happen. But
Check your show.
but why you think they chose Conor?
I think he chose Conor because, as they say, easy pickings. I really don't follow MMA like that, so fighting somebody like an MMA fighter would probably be more good for the fans, you know what I'm saying? So they can be able to see what the different type of styles like MMA
Right.
versus
I
boxing.
agree.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
that's good for the fans. That's what I think about it. But other than that,
Easy pickings.
just easy pickings.
Before we switch topics, I know we've kind of been bashing Floyd a little bit with the 50-0, but let me bash Conor McGregor a little bit because he had won the lightweight championship.
Yeah.
He had won. Well, first he won the featherweight, then he won the lightweight. Never defended any
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
you're right.
Of course, he left. Child was born. Want to spend time with his family. I ain't knocking that.
Fair enough.
His first fight should have been in defense of his belt, and then this. But
Hey,
you give the fans
opportunity knocks.
Yeah, opportunity knocks. That's what you go for.
Right.
Now I will give him a little bit of credit because Dana White did say that after this fight he does plan on fighting again this year
Okay.
before the end's
Right.
over with.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
if he does fight again this year, if Conor McGregor does fight again this year, I'll give him all the props in the world. If he doesn't, then he got to take some bashing on it because it's ridiculous. You haven't defended any of your time.
After this fight, don't you think that it's very likely that Conor could go up to Dana White and say,
Hey,
he'll never make that much money in the UFC if he fights 10 more times?
And let's just say, I'm just going to say that Conor's doing a really good job at navigating himself in line for maybe even something else with Showtime, another like type of grudge match with someone like Paulie. That's in-house.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
they released small clips of what looked like Conor beating up on Paulie. And everyone knows Paulie's out of shape. Paulie's, sitting back in a chair.
Let's talk about that.
Paulie was talking a lot of noise.
Yes. So,
But
if
rightfully so. Paulie's a world champion,
Right.
a proven world champion, but at a much lighter weight.
Yeah.
So 170-pound Conor throwing slap punches and pushing Paulie down in a sparring match, doesn't really show me that Conor can box. We're going to see if Conor can box when he boxes Floyd.
If somehow Conor were to be competitive more than we expect, even a little more than we expect, then do you think he could maybe challenge one of the welterweight or super welterweight
you
champs?
never know, man.
No, he should do this fight and get it over with because I can see this being a runaround the entire fight, which Conor McGregor shouldn't do. He should stay in one spot and say, if you don't come to me, then this fight's going to be boring. I wouldn't chase Floyd Mayweather anywhere. Yep. But just get this part over with and go back to the UFC. We love to see you in UFC. Go back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to think about, for Conor's side, what's the longevity of his career in UFC?
Right.
He's 28 though. I mean,
right.
29.
But
29. Okay.
anything happens in UFC, and to prove that, if Cyborg, what's her, Chris Cyborg,
Chris Cyborg,
yeah.
her husband had to retire. Did you know the injury he had?
She got a husband?
She had a husband, and he's a UFC fighter, and they both actually take on that name. And he caught a knee to the face in one of his fights, and
I got you.
he crushed, like it looked like a baseball hit him in the forehead.
Oof.
Put a plate in, no more career. Anything happens in UFC.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, what were you getting ready to say?
I was going to touch on his point about the clips that came out. I think those are basically just narrative control.
True.
Conor has a chance. He's knocked down former world champ. You know what I mean? I think that's what that is.
Well, of course, because we're not going to see the full leakage fight until after the fight.
Right,
and it depends on who wins or how good Conor looks. If Conor looks decent to good, or hell, even win the damn fight,
leaves the door.
Yeah, they're not leaking that out. Or if they do leak it out, who cares?
Yeah.
I beat Floyd.
Yeah.
If Conor gets beat down 12 rounds and just looks horrible, they'll lead out in the second. And probably gonna have the last word.
I tell you what could happen is if they played the cards right. Let's say Conor does decent. Maybe let's say he does decent, gasses and gets TKO'd, something like that. All right. Afterwards, you have Paulie talking some smack from the side, and then they start playing charades. Putting a theatric to it. And now Paulie and Conor get into it, and then it's like, oh, you know what? We're gonna have, it's gonna be his second pro fight against Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, you never know.
But beating up an older, washed-up Malignaggi is not going to generate near the revenue that
I tell you what, fight. New York loves Malignaggi.
It's promoted. It's doable, but it's not going to be on the same level.
No, it wouldn't be on the same level. But I tell you what, he's still going to make money. I mean, what's he typically making in his UFC fights? Anywhere between $4 to $8 million per.
Yeah.
Okay. I guarantee you, a Paulie Malignaggi fight would be a lot easier, $4 to $8 million.
Exactly.
A lot more, probably.
Conor looks good. I want him taking on Triple G.
Well, hey,
Knocked out in the second round.
Triple G would laugh at Conor.
oh my goodness. All right, well, look. So he was laughing.
We laugh now.
Go to Joe for a second. I want you to name guys who had a potential shot, besides Conor, who could potentially fight Mayweather that's not getting that fight. Name a few guys that you can think.
From the UFC?
No, from boxing.
From boxing, that could have fought.
That could have fought for his 50.
A guy like Sean Porter.
Oh yeah,
Sean Porter.
Yeah. Ain't think about Sean Porter. Yeah.
He could have even given Kell Brook a chance. Keith Thurman.
Okay.
I mean, there's a few guys out there that are, and you know what I was gonna say is why didn't he do the Pacquiao rematch for 50 and 0? And that right there throws me into concern for Floyd.
Okay.
Because that was not, as much as he made it look like an easy fight, that was not an easy fight for him. Because there was times where Pacquiao hit Floyd with glaring shots that barely touched him, and he felt them.
Right.
And afterwards, you saw the respect that Floyd had. Floyd don't normally have a lot of respect. He walks out of fights confident, and he knows. When he walked over to Pacquiao, he said, now I know why you got where you got.
Right.
So for that, it shows me that he felt him, you know. And Pacquiao saying he had the hurt shoulder and taking that long layoff, I believe him.
Okay.
So I think that
I totally believe him too, though.
you know,
there's.
I mean, because I didn't see the same twitch and power in the hook. After about the second round, that it was like that arm just was not popping anymore, and there was, you know, concerns in camp. Like 8 weeks out, they were saying it.
All right. So if I'm a Sean Porter type, or anybody in boxing in general, on a scale of 1 to 10, like how mad are these guys? Like, how mad are these guys that this MMA guy comes in and gets a shot at Floyd when I could have been that pick? You know, how mad are these guys?
If Joe knows politics in boxing, like he just stated on, and if any boxer knows, they know it's just politics,
right?
And it's just money. And I mean, you could be mad all you want. I'll say maybe a 7.
Do they understand though? They understand.
Yeah, they understand. Yeah, right. It's money in politics.
Chris, I see you smiling there. What you think?
Because you know my competitive self.
Right.
I ain't having it.
Right.
I'm gonna find a way to fight either one of these guys after the fight that shows I should have been on that fight. I should have been on that stage.
Okay.
I can beat these guys. Just put me in the ring with them. So I would have made it my business to make it my next fight. Either one of these guys.
You don't have the name, Conor does.
That's true. That is true. I mean,
you got to make the name first.
Red, is it more of just marketing business, or you think that these boxers really have a legit issue with Conor fighting Floyd and not them?
I mean, I think it's more of a marketing thing because, you know what I'm saying, everybody wants to make money, you know what I'm saying, everybody wants to see this fight. But I mean, I really like the fight, but it's an MMA fight. I mean, MMA is a whole different sport than boxing. Boxing, you only got these two, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
MMA, you got this, and, you know, everything.
Right, everything, yeah.
You know, it's just a totally different game. But, I mean, people want to see it, so they obviously going to get the fans what they want, so... Yeah. I mean, but money. That's all I can say. Money.
Well,
go ahead.
I can't just say the money though. I mean, we all knew it was about the money, but look at the charisma that Conor brings. I mean, just mind blowing. When you watch him, it don't matter if you don't like the guy, you like the guy. It's just like you just sit back. He kind of has
gravitates
like,
to you.
You know, he just kind of like brings you in. You're like, you're gonna watch his show,
right?
You know, like whether you like me or not, he doesn't care. He's like, but you're gonna watch because I'm gonna make it entertaining.
Yeah,
you know?
That was the answer that I've been waiting for about 10 minutes now. Thank you.
No, because I was getting ready to get to that. To be honest, I was saying this is the one guy.
The dude is charismatic.
Yeah, charismatic. Yeah. He is. He is the one guy that comes in and draws attention to a nation. Right. You're talking, everyone's going to follow Conor McGregor. Floyd saw that. Floyd thought it was a joke at first. He's like, this guy here. And then Floyd, one day, I guess, woke out of bed and just paid a little more close attention to Conor. It's like, oh man, he's got the it factor. These guys I'm fighting around here in this boxing, they don't have the it factor. I'm Floyd, money, Mayweather. You know, the bigger the draw, that's why I'm coming in. Yep. And you realize this. Let me look into this guy's. You know, let me see his fights. Okay, let me see how he talks. Oh man, let me see how he works. Let me see how he promotes. Oh my goodness. Hey, Dana. Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So
you want an extra 50 mil, Dana?
Floyd's doing this whole career. You know that low risk. High reward.
Oh, there we go.
Agree.
Yeah, no, but it's true.
Yeah.
We can all agree he hasn't really fought anyone. Because what was it, 6-7 years ago when it was Manny versus Floyd? Maybe 8 years ago, something like that.
Now it's about 7.
7 years, yeah.
Now
that right there was everyone was hyped. Yeah. It is, man, and that was about as big as the even part that when they finally fought 5 years later. It was still big, but it was huge when Manny was at his prime. And it was funny how Floyd kind of snaked his way into not fighting. It was always an excuse. He's got to come to me. His camp got to do this. They got to do that. And Manny, he on steroids. You know, the man P and blue.
Floyd was blood doping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my thing is,
you can say he was on HGH. Like, how did he jump divisions? But you were blood doping, and you got caught on film saying it.
Right.
Same thing.
Lord, I remember that. Yeah.
So
I won't say this because. Look, 49-0 is still 49-0, but there hasn't been that one significant victory. Maybe Canelo was probably
he put on a show.
Canelo was the one I saw.
Cotto, Ricky Hatton.
Okay,
It was
Ricky
at the time was very impressive.
Yeah, okay.
At the time.
Yeah, so it's few in between, but a lot of guys like the Shane Mosleys, Oscar De La Hoyas, those
Way
guys,
past their prime.
they had the names, but
But
they
De La
were way
Hoya
past
gave him
their
a good
prime.
fight.
Okay.
That was close.
Can I give you a rap sheet? Okay, we all saw the De La Hoya Mayweather fight.
Right.
De La Hoya was 33, almost 34 at the time. Had been out of boxing for maybe 2 years
Right.
at that point. Cannot count that victory. Honestly, I think Oscar still won the fight. But
it was very close.
who's the money train though?
Right, exactly.
Boxing will always go with who's making the money.
Right.
Who's going to make this commission the next $40 million? They're always going to play the money game. So after that, I mean, let's look at the Shane Mosley. You brought up Shane Mosley. That fight, he had a torn Achilles tendon
Right. Oh,
in
yeah,
that fight.
yeah.
That is why you didn't see him be able to make any movements to try to cut off Floyd. After he rocked Floyd, Floyd was like, okay, I'm going to play the angles game. So
And let me ask you something. If the pressure gets put on Floyd,
Mhm.
like it's going to,
Mhm.
Conor goes in there and charges after him, right? And Conor's the bigger, stronger man. Floyd is not known for hitting hard at all. He has not a knockout since I was a baby. That's
a long time ago.
That's saying something.
he's also, he's also been
Why
fighting guys in the
can't
150
McGregor
pound
just
class.
walk him down? Why is it unlikely that McGregor will be able to just walk him down and catch him?
Why you feel that way?
That he'll just won't go after him the whole time.
I'm
or-
saying McGregor will go after him. How come he just can't walk right through Floyd? Since he's bigger and stronger, we know that.
because, like you say, he's the best defensive fighter in the world. He will duck, he will dodge, he will move out the way. If I was Conor McGregor, I would not move not one time. I would stand in one spot and say, "You come to me," and then we'll fight the whole time. And then, because he'll move around, but you have to come to me. If McGregor swings and misses a lot more, then it's more on.
But Conor's not winning a fight with Floyd in the center of the ring. He's going to
not.
have to get him up against the
He's
ropes.
He's not, because Mayweather will walk circles around Conor.
But,
in the center of the ring.
exactly though, it's because he'll win the defensive part of it. Because he'll duck
Well,
and
no,
dodge.
I mean offensively, if he forces Floyd to fight offensively, he cannot handle the combinations Floyd will throw.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Definitely
I don't know,
not.
because let me tell you
Agreed.
something. I watched the Nate Diaz fight with Conor McGregor. Conor knew after the first fight not to go to the ground, and he was straight standing.
Okay.
I watched that, and he was going in with Nate Diaz. Of course, Nate Diaz ain't a boxer, so
Right.
it's totally different. But he was going back. They was going
Right.
back and forth, toe to toe. So I think if they got into the middle of the ring and was just stuck together and were just swinging, of course I think Floyd would get the better of him, but I wouldn't count him out though.
I would just because what you're gonna see, and I can see you're an avid UFC fan. Like I can tell you really, and I watched both of those fights.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I love Conor. I love watching him before the fight more than during the fight.
Yeah,
You
right,
know?
exactly.
I mean, but and when I watch him in the fight, I see I'm like, man, for a UFC guy, he's pretty knowledgeable with his hands, you know.
Yeah.
But that's where I draw the line. A UFC fighter with great hands.
Yeah.
As far as a boxer, you could put him in there with almost a numerous amount of guys, and he will not be able to handle the combinations.
Yeah.
There's too many flaws in his defenses. There's too many flaws in his reaction
You think
time.
he winds up with that left hand?
He's so used to the being able to do the step back and lean on the back foot and leaning back.
Mhm.
You lean back in boxing, that's a no. And when you start leaning back and lunging,
Yeah.
you have already lost all positive control in the ring.
Yeah.
You're not commanding the ring anymore.
Right. Okay.
And Floyd, you always see Floyd is always balanced, always has his arms positioned where he wants them, the shoulder roll, the hands high.
Mhm.
So you're never going to see him in a position where he doesn't want to be. You're never going to see him throw a shot and then the hand come down here. Why? Because after he shoots that shot, if that hand doesn't come back, boom, I'm checking you again, I'm taking that step, body shot.
So what's Conor's only chance against Floyd? What's his only
I
chance?
think his only chance would be to use those long arms he's got and have a great guard and walk towards Floyd. Walk towards Floyd. If Floyd starts to run, taunt Floyd. Taunt Floyd.
Oh, yeah,
Get the crowd
yeah,
into it.
yeah.
Bring yourself here and then keep that guard high. I would not be trying to engage in combination. He knows he can't throw at the same speed or the same combinations as Floyd. So what you need to do is you need to look for that one opening or use one of your hands to push him the way you want and then throw the shot you want. That's what I'd be. He doesn't have a great chance here. There will be a few windows, I think,
Yeah.
only because of the age and a little bit of ring rust. But
Yeah.
after about round 3,
He'll get it back.
after that, I think that Floyd will be in full control. Conor will start to gas, and by 5 to 8, you'll see a TKO.
Did y'all see I don't know if a lot of people shared it, but there was I forgot who tweeted. It's in my phone. The guy said that whoever was sparring with Floyd Mayweather knocked Floyd Mayweather either out or down. I can't remember the terminology. And Floyd got up, was pissed off, and sent everybody out the room. And so I have to pull it up in my phone.
I can see. I mean, I can see him.
So I'm just saying that I think the whole thing was they seeing Floyd as this boxing Superman that can't be put down, and so that them relaying that out, saying, "Oh, well, it happens." Okay, well then Conor has a chance now.
Yeah,
so
he does. I mean,
I've heard from the last 3 or 4 kind of training camps. He's got Conor McGregor got knocked out by knocked down or hurt somebody. So it happens all the time.
Yeah,
you hear it all the time. Like, and do I believe it? I believe it because I mean they're not going in there fully prepared and ready to go for war. I mean it happens.
It's the same thing as when you see guys in the NFL going to training camp.
Yeah.
They may look like crap the whole camp, but they're trying to work it out. Every day is a grind.
Right.
It's hard to wake your body up and put your body through those motions, and while your muscles are trying to rehabilitate, and you're over here stressing them out more, and they're not even ready to be stressed. So I mean it's a grind.
Well,
getting in there.
Red with the 8-ounce gloves, it just got announced today. This is, I believe, August 16th. Yeah, it got announced today that they're going with 8-ounce gloves, so a little bit smaller, from 10-ounce to 8-ounce. Does that give McGregor a little more chance than it did yesterday?
No, I don't think it does.
My man leaned back and said, nah.
No, I don't think it does because obviously, the gloves are lighter, so Floyd can be able to move as he wants to with his hands
quicker,
and quicker, obviously. So I think it doesn't give McGregor any chance at all. I mean, this is one of the best defensive boxers we have, and also he got lighter gloves. So I mean, come on, he gon' he gon' move his hand, and then his hands lighter already. So he used to wearing 10-pound gloves. 10-ounce gloves. So his hands already lighter with 8, so he can be able to move.
How you feel, Chris? Slight chance.
I feel like the Patriots went 16-0 one year.
Right.
Ran through the playoffs one year. Got to the Super Bowl that year. Everybody thought it was a given that year, and they lost.
Right.
I don't think McGregor's just going to straight work over Floyd. I think those windows that you're talking about, I think he take advantages of maybe a couple.
I think you're right. I do think that he will make it. He will take advantage of those windows. He knows that this is a fight he has to capitalize on certain things. He knows that, and he's a smart guy. I just don't see him. If I was to bet $1 million,
I'm not.
I mean, if I had, let me put it this way: if someone told me, Joe, you could bet $1,000 on Conor beating your boy Floyd, and you would get $1 million in return, right? And then if someone said, Joe, you can bet the same 1,000 and you'll only get 20,000. I'm gonna be like, I'm a businessman. I'm about to get 20 G's.
Yeah, I heard it. I was just ready to ask that question, like just a little fun question. Since we all know that, and now it's 6-1. The odds is, thanks to my man Greg Stevens, 6-1 odds. Mayweather is the top dog and McGregor is the underdog. If you had to bet, we're just saying a little money, just a little money. Just say I'm betting 200. That's what I'm saying. And I got 200 on Conor McGregor.
All right.
And here's why. The worst case scenario is I'm out of $200. The best case scenario is I probably win a lot more than that $200 if anything crazy happens.
Do you know what the ratio is? The 200 to 6-1?
I don't know. You look at what 200 times 6. Is that how it goes?
Is that how it goes? I'm not
6-1. You got to put up $1,200 on Floyd to win 200.
Oh,
Exactly.
shit.
There you go.
Goodness gracious, but
Speaking of those windows, Floyd's windows that shit is double pane, son.
Right.
It doesn't give you any windows.
Right. No, that's true. If you get him, Conor's basing this off of his age, and that's probably he's been saying the whole entire time, the whole promo and all that, them back and forth. You're old. Now take advantage of it. Now we all know it's talk, but he's basically every interview outside of that, every one-on-one interview saying, I'm gonna take advantage of his age, of his ring rust.
Yeah.
So I think Conor in his mind. Oh, of course he thinks he has a chance. That's Conor McGregor.
Really? Do you really believe that Conor really believes he has a chance?
Yes, that's the crazy part. I really believe that Conor really believes he has a chance. Anybody else out there, I wouldn't. But Conor's a different kind of cat. I think Conor thinks he has a chance to beat anybody. I think if Muhammad Ali reincarnated came back down there, those two go at it. I think Conor thinks he beat anybody. Now, his camp. Right, not in their minds like you had no chance, but they can't say that.
No.
Right.
Yeah, they can't say that, but they got to pump Conor's head up.
He would have to be in. I mean, it would have to be the most amazing shape
Right.
that he's ever been in. His form would have to be critiqued daily. He need to work on his craft 8 hours a day. The milestones that he would have to cover to do this is beyond anything that I've ever. I mean, it's hard for guys who are elite boxers to beat Floyd.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, how difficult is it to cut off the ring on an
Exactly.
athletic fighter? How difficult is it?
So it's one thing. The reason why part of Floyd's success is that moving forward is, and Darius probably remembers this, moving forward and creating offense is one of the hardest things to do. And it's literally inevitable. You will make mistakes. Just the way you move when you come forward, either your speed or your power is going to lack.
Okay.
Not to mention, while you're doing this, it's extremely fatiguing, so your conditioning is limited. It doesn't matter how great a shape you are.
Right.
You're either going to need to hit that second win, third win. You're going to need those. While you're moving forward, it's super hard to create offense. As a defensive fighter, working off the back leg, using your shoulders to block. I mean, he literally doesn't even have to move his whole arm to block punches. I mean, once you perfect that, it changes the game.
Right.
So, and with Cotto, how Cotto knew what he had to do. He used the jab. Don't let Floyd set his angles. Don't let him set his feet. Keep him off balance. Keep the jab in his face, and then shoot the counters whenever you can. And that's what he did. And I thought he won that fight. That was me. I mean, judges need to, kind of account for the fact that how they don't understand how hard it is to when someone's running and someone's moving forward to attack, how hard it is to create offense. And it is. There's no words for it, especially when you're fighting a guy that blocks every single punch you throw, and he slips and he moves, and then he still hits you with counter shots, and you come so close to hitting him, and you're like your glove just barely touches the hair on his nose.
Right.
So, I mean, it's remarkable to think that he would be able to do that.
If Conor somehow, and this is a big if Conor does somehow defeat Floyd Mayweather, and it's a huge if.
It hurts me when you say that.
It's the greatest upset in the history of sports.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
I don't know.
Agreed.
Touching on the politics, like y'all was saying about behind the scenes, could Floyd throw the fight, get a rematch, more cash?
Hey,
we're not talking about a rematch. We're talking about this match. When we say upset, it's like, okay, of course they're planning on just doing this fight once. I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure Floyd won't do 51-0. I mean, it just looks stupid. 50-0
Floyd do anything now.
Yeah, but 50-0 is perfect. 49-0 is ugly. 50-0 is perfect. You know what I'm saying?
You forgot about Buster Douglas. When he went into the ring against Tyson, he was a 46-1 underdog, I believe.
Yeah.
46.
But we can kind of say Tyson did that to himself, though.
Yeah.
Tyson out the boxing ring was kind of a lunatic going crazy and drugs and all that stuff.
Tyson beat himself.
I think Floyd isn't nowhere near that level at all.
Right.
So Floyd isn't going to beat himself like Tyson really beat himself.
He's always ready to fight.
Floyd stays in made shape. He doesn't.
So Chris,
he might spend money in strip clubs, but he ain't about to be snorting cocaine off a girl. So
no, Chris, you say this isn't a biggest upset. So what is?
No, I'm saying, would it still be considered the biggest upset if we look at it from that perspective? Like I say, the politics. I mean, my head just go everywhere.
All right, no, I got
That's
you.
my daddy.
Well, we all know, like Joe said, look, boxing is very, very shady.
Yeah.
We don't know all that goes on behind the scenes.
Floyd would never take a fall.
I would think Floyd would never take a fall, but you just gotta because I'm just saying. So if Conor does defeat him, then you gotta look about who's involved in this? What kind of money? What more money under the table that we don't know about?
First off,
how many billions did he get?
Let's. What way would Conor beat Floyd?
There we go. That's my next question.
It would have to be
decision. It would have to be decision.
It would have to be knockout.
It had to be knockout.
Why would it be decision?
Because if let's say Floyd just stays the same level. Let's say Floyd and Conor McGregor stayed the same way from round 1 to round 13, right? 12. Round 12. Then you can kind of say, you know what? He didn't have the best chance anyway, but he stayed the course all throughout the way.
Yeah.
And then kind of got a couple of licks on him,
But that's
too.
not how you judge boxing.
No, it's not. But clearly from from Manny Pacquiao and
That
his
was
other fight.
flawed.
Yeah, right, exactly. But
those
so-
judges probably won't judge again.
Yeah, but see, that's the unknown with judges. You just never know.
Okay,
so
I see what you're saying.
So
Well,
I was
Floyd will know.
Take it to the
Right.
Take it to
Floyd,
the judges. You just never know.
Floyd,
Right?
Floyd will know, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you why. Because Floyd has those judges and their wives and their daughters all taken care of. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
Heard
Floyd,
that.
hey,
Heard
Mikey,
that.
you did a good job judging the fight. Buy your daughter that Benz for her birthday, and here's your 1.2.
Yeah.
And James, same for you. That your daughter's in college, huh? Hey, I'm not joking.
No,
I'm so
I
serious.
believe you.
I'm
I
serious.
so believe
Because
you right now.
what people don't understand is boxing. There is no, like the NFL. There's no league and we have a commission, and every state has a commission.
Right.
And how you work everything within that is between you and that commissioner, that promoter and that commissioner. They go and they talk. Now they got to follow the guidelines, like fighters making certain weights, agreeing on the terms, weight of the gloves, protective insurance, all that. So other than that, though, when it comes down to picking judges, picking refs, hey, you're funding the money. You're paying who you want. This is who I got.
Man.
This is who I got that you can pick from.
So if Conor McGregor knocks out Floyd or
That'd be the
TKO,
only way.
so if that does happen, what do you think happens? Does everybody just lose their mind at the same time? Like, I'm not talking about us as fans. I'm talking about just anybody, analysts.
I think that we start looking at Floyd like I believe he is. I believe he's like the Tom Brady of boxing.
Yeah.
I believe he's undeniably great, but his career is not untarnished. Like, he has a tarnished career.
Right.
He's known for missing opportunities with the best of the best.
Right.
He's known for targeting fighters after they're aged and attacking them like with the wrong type of words.
Right.
Just to draw them into a fight. I mean, so he's kind of been the dark horse for a while. It's just he kind of took that role and ran with it.
Do people give up on boxing if he loses?
No, definitely not.
No.
Because if that happens,
It's attributed to his age.
yep, I was about to say,
Yep.
and that's what I.
There's built-in excuses with both of these guys.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Conor fighting a prime Floyd Mayweather?
Oh yeah, no, that wouldn't even it wouldn't even happen. We know that. Yeah, but they both have built-in excuses. So, look, be honest, none of these guys are gonna quote unquote lose.
Yeah.
Even though Conor thinks he's gonna win, he's like, if I lose, I still won.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
I quadrupled my finances in one fight that I've done my whole entire UFC career.
Yeah.
So none of these guys are gonna be mad. Floyd is he'll the age factor. No, he was a good fighter. I'm just old.
What I
Floyd would never say that.
if I was Floyd,
Okay.
I would be sneaky about it. I mean, you're already getting paid ridiculous amounts of money. Let's say you coast through. Let's say you decide, or let's say you get to the point where you don't KO, like you said. Let's say he has a good fight. You don't KO him, but Conor doesn't really do anything impressive.
Okay.
Maybe in the 11th and 12th round, you let him hit you with a little something and fake a wobble, Get the fans going crazy.
That we talked about too, yeah.
Now you're in potential way. And then when they do the thing, say, hey, what happened? Be like, oh, man, he hit me with a good shot, but I'm the best. I'm the best. It is, play it up. And then people are going to go, no, I want to see that again. He almost knocked him out. And then, hey, easy another $300 million, baby. I mean,
I can go back through Floyd's last 4 or 5 fights combined, and I can count on 1 or 2 hands at most the number of times he's been hit clean.
Right. No, that's true.
It doesn't happen.
That's true.
And
I mean,
sort of-
some of his best performances have happened in the last few years.
So to think this guy could come in there and actually even touch him might be a stretch.
All right, let's go around the table. Jordan, we'll start with you first. Who wins? How? What round?
Yeah, I'm going 100%. I think Floyd will win decision. I don't think he'll knock him out.
Oh, okay.
I think Conor's a little too.
Tough.
Tough for that. He has a good chin. The Nate Diaz fight, they took licks.
Yeah,
he took licks in that Nate Diaz fight, and
it was rear naked. He got
right.
He was tapped out,
The first fight, he got tapped
The
out.
second fight, it was both.
Yeah,
When he was gassed.
It was
Yeah.
I'm about to,
Clearly gassed.
Yes, and so I think it'll be decision.
What about you, Red?
I'm taking Mayweather decision. Obviously, with Floyd being a defensive boxer, I don't think he'll hit him too many times. So I kind of feel like Floyd will catch him, and he'll win by decision.
Okay, decision. Are you, Chris?
Well, I've been putting on for McGregor all day. So, of course, I think, like I said, I don't think he's going to work over Floyd. I think, like you said, he's going to hit him a couple times. I think one of them times going to count, and he's going to finish him from there.
All right,
So-
what you got around? You saying KO or TKO? What we saying?
KO
Ooh.
late third.
Oh, late third,
McGregor said 4 rounds.
I don't think McGregor want to go
Well,
long with it.
go ahead, Greg. I'll get mine.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. by decision. And it's not even going to be close. But I do expect a lot of theater, especially in the first few rounds. I can see Conor bouncing around that ring like a leprechaun, hand gestures, doing his little thing.
I know.
He'll probably put his hands behind his back and dare Floyd to hit him. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun theater. It should be enjoyable while it lasts until he gasses out.
Right.
But I think he's tough. He like he said, he can't take a shot or 2 or 3 or 4. I don't expect Floyd to hit him with the kind of power that will put him down. But I think he'll dominate. He'll counterpunch him to death throughout the fight. When Conor becomes a little bit gassed in the middle and late rounds, probably pot shot him and make it a very easy fight.
Gotcha.
What I'm
Mr.
saying.
Joe, what's up, baby?
Yeah, how's it going? So I'm gonna say that Nate Diaz can't throw a straight punch to save his life. He's known for slapping. Actually, he has a
he's got
what's it? The Stockton slap? Is that his nickname? He's known for the Stockton slap.
It's something weird like
the guy doesn't know how to throw a straight punch. So him taking a shot from that doesn't count.
Right.
I'm gonna say that Conor is gonna get either KO'd or TKO'd
Okay.
in this fight, and it's going to be between rounds 5 and 8 when you're going to see the clear difference in conditioning in boxing and
Gotcha.
UFC.
Yeah.
It's a different sport, a different animal. Also, Conor is big, but he's not as big as you think. I mean, Floyd manhandled Canelo, if that puts it into perspective. And Canelo I've seen Canelo in person. He's a big guy. He's 5'9", and he's all of 170
Right.
pounds.
And my recent memory of Floyd Mayweather's fights, Canelo, that was a big dude, and he gave some shots.
Isn't that only Canelo's only loss?
That is Canelo's
but
loss.
Floyd just played with him.
So for me, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a combination of his counter right hand and his hook,
Okay.
and that's what it's gonna be. That's gonna open up. I think that once the feet set in because Floyd's been out for a little bit, but once the feet set in, the rust falls off by about round 3. He's gonna take command, and Conor's gonna start to gas by that point, and you'll see the difference in the hands.
Exactly why I don't think Conor want to go past 3. That's why I said late third.
There we go. And so I got Floyd Money Mayweather. I think TKO in the 9th round. I'm going 9th. I'm thinking somewhere in that area, 9th, maybe 10th round, when, like you said, the cardio kicks in and you see the difference between UFC and boxing. I think I'm agreeing with Greg. I think the first 3 rounds, 4 rounds, a lot of theater going on. Yeah, I can say that. I see McGregor just getting the crowd into it, which is the best way to go, in my opinion. I think so. For somehow, if you think you're getting in Floyd's head, you're probably not. But in his mind, you want to get in his head and then kind of make it ugly or theatrical. And then the 6th, 7th, 8th round, you'll see conditioning going on, cardio. I got Floyd winning TKO. I'm gonna go ahead and say 10th round. I'll say 10th round. But
It'll be interesting when they meet in the middle of the ring for the stare down.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You already know a lot of 4-letter explicitness is gonna be happening right there.
Yeah.
And, and 3 letters, boy. It's probably gonna be sitting out there too, man. Hey, look, I want to thank all you guys. Get a good capture Darius right fast. I want to thank Mr. Joe Baglio. That's
Thanks for
right.
having me.
Yeah, hey, anytime. Mr. Greg Stevens doing his thing. Chris Lambert.
Catch me at Uneducated Star Wars Talk. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
There we go. Mr. Devonte Rone, a.k.a. Red in the paint. Yes, sir. And I want to thank Jordan Turner for taking his time to join us as well, man. And any last thoughts? Someone was saying something before we roll out.
Oh, I do want to say that since we're throwing rounds on it, I'm going to say the 6th round.
Okay.
Since we're throwing rounds on it, to be fair. My window is 5 to 8, but I want to be fair with you.
Yeah.
So
I got
I'm
you.
going to throw 6 on it. I'll roll the 6. So.
Well, majority rules, we have Floyd Mayweather being on top outside of my boy Chris Lambert. He thinks that Conor has a chance. Everyone has a chance. We know that. His chances is slimmer than most people. Let's just be real. But we all have fun, and I want to thank everyone. Thank for those who are watching this. Subscribe to the channel for Uneducated Network, which is behind red right there. This is Uneducated Sports Talk, and as always, sports fans, you know what it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Till next time. Peace.